Yes, people, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge, the podcast all things related to Formula One, what happens on the racetrack, at the paddock, or outside of it. As always, we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. How are you doing, dude?
All right, bro. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, had a bit of a crazy week, but we're still we've made it to yet another week, and we started a new one as well. So I'm glad to be
Salute,
glad to be on
salute.
that.
Hoping
Yes.
for a better week, yeah? Hoping for a better week.
Yes. Let's hope so. All right, guys. So as always, before we begin, make sure to give us a like, follow, and share on our Facebook and Instagram pages. For Spotify listeners, make sure to hit that rating. You know the drill. Make sure to
As always.
on the pause as always. And let's get into today's episode. We have a pretty meaty episode today, guys, because we're not only gonna be talking about the Chinese Grand Prix. We're gonna go with the same formats, go with practice qualifying, not qualifying and the race. But we're also going to be talking about the sprint race because the Chinese Grand Prix is the first of this entire calendar to be having a sprint race, one of the 6 or 7 tracks that is having and also the fact that the Chinese Grand Prix is the first. It has made its first. It's made its comeback after a 4-year absence since the COVID-19 pandemic. And Malcolm, as you can probably tell as well, with the crowd, with the stands, the crowd were up on their feet. The attendance was in very, very high numbers, and understandably
Every right.
so.
And they had every right.
Yes.
They had every right. Especially for the fact for their homeboy Guanyu Zhou.
And Guanyu Zhou, he relished every single moment, although despite having a Sauber, which is quite a crap car, unfortunately, with the thing he's driving with. He relished every single moment, actually, bro.
Though, they don't care that he's driving a fucking Sauber.
Yeah.
They're just glad that there's one of their homegrown talents, a Chinese driver, to actually compete in their home turf.
Yes, exactly.
That's what they care about. So they don't care that he's driving a Sauber.
Listen, they were up on their feet, the crowd.
Which they should be. They should be. What was the last time? 4 or 5 years ago? 2019,
yes,
2020?
A long time ago, actually. A very long time.
Pre-COVID for sure. For sure.
Definitely. But anyways,
yeah, we never got that Vietnam track.
No, we never got it. Probably we never.
Yeah, we never will.
Have that track. Do we?
We'll never go to Vietnam.
No. Wonder how that would. I really was curious to see how the track would turn out to be because it was going to be a street circuit. I think it was going to be.
If you want to know, I believe it's all either on F1 2020 or F1 21.
The game, yeah.
There's the Hanoi Street Circuit.
Ah, lovely. Okay.
So if you want to experience the Hanoi Street Circuit, play F1 2020 or F1 21.
Yeah.
I'll check for you after the episode.
Yes, absolutely. No,
I'll check for you after the episode.
So actually, guys,
which, by the way, it was going to be a shit track, by the way.
Yeah. So I think there's plenty of good reason why they removed the track there.
But if you want to try, go ahead. Yeah. I'll check for you after the episode.
I'll take a look as well, bro. I'll take a look as well on that. So, all right, guys. So actually, before we get into the meat of this episode, we did over the past couple of weeks got some really really significant news coming from Aston Martin. And that significant piece of news is that Fernando Alonso has extended his contract till at least 2026 to the team. So that pretty much puts an end to all rumors of him possibly moving to Red Bull or Mercedes. And this will probably be, not probably, I think it's certainly going to be Alonso's final contract. He said himself in his announcement interview, basically, about the news. What do you think of this, bro? I honestly agree with it. That he's staying on.
To be fair, not shook, but I don't really know. Because I really expected Alonso to make a move. I honestly expected him to make a move, especially to Mercedes, at least.
But then again,
so the fact that he has faith in Aston Martin on a multi-year deal, contract extension, again shows that he has faith with the team. And that, just like you said, puts end to all the room making a move. I genuinely thought he might make the switch to at least Mercedes. Genuinely thought. But maybe they gave him a better contract. Maybe they gave him an ambassador role after. Or could be not.
It also could be the fact that there are some, obviously, guys, take this with a pinch of salt. This is all rumors right now, because obviously the last time we've heard about Adrian Newey, he was actually in talks to join Ferrari, but now it looks like that he's also in talks with Aston Martin, but obviously don't take this with a pinch of salt. So that could be a factor why Alonso is extending his contract with Aston Martin. But for me, here's why I actually agree with this, because let's say he would have made the switch to Mercedes or Red Bull, he'll probably do how much? 1-2 years tops, and then he'll leave, and then he'll retire straight away. And if he listen, if he had joined Red Bull, he would have probably been the second. He would have been second fiddle to Verstappen, which he would absolutely not accept in any way. I mean, and even in
Which no one will really accept, especially for the driver the caliber of Alonso.
and even
I never believed the rumors for him to go to
no,
Red Bull.
no, and even with Mercedes, to be honest, because
Listen,
again,
they
George
got
Russell,
George Russell,
again.
but maybe they could work something out with Russell. But Alonso being second fiddle, we already know how that went down when he went to McLaren Mercedes back in 07. That would never
And
work.
yes, and exactly, and this is why. And listen, this is why I am perfectly fine with this piece of news. Let him go with his last dance, maybe like 1 or 2 years tops. But this will probably be his final swan, his swan song in Formula
What if it
1,
won't?
basically.
What if it won't?
No, I can't listen. He's in his 40s now. I can't really
Listen.
see him progressing any further. I think.
You seen that reaction?
Which
That save he made?
yeah. I mean, listen.
He
Yes.
can still go.
No, obviously, yeah. He
The
still
dude
has
can
it. He still
still
has
go.
it.
He can still go. He can still go, bro. Hey, listen. Age is just a number at the end of the day. Shout out to Alonso, man.
But
Shout out to Alonso.
listen, after this weekend, he would have. I think that's not. I mean, after what happened this weekend, that's not like the perfect way to really seal the announcement news. But anyways,
that you could say that.
I
You could
mean,
say that.
very happy. I'm happy that he's staying on for 2 more years. But I probably this would be his final few years in Formula One. But we'll see. I mean, I might be wrong. Time will tell. But anyhow,
We'll see.
that's pretty much Alonso to Aston Martin. All right, guys, let's get into the meat of this episode, which is the Chinese Grand Prix. As we said, this is the first time that this has happened in China for 4 years. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was cancelled for 4 seasons in a row, basically, and it was certainly missed. I mean, Shanghai is a great circuit. What do you think, bro? Was it missed?
Of course, definitely. I believe it was missed. I mean, as long as it's not a street circuit, definitely missed.
Definitely. I mean, absolutely. And
I do hate it on the F1 games though,
yeah,
because the AI are stupid crazy on it.
yeah, absolutely.
Are stupid quick on it, so I do hate
Absolutely.
it. But in real life, it's a nice track.
It is.
Better than a street circuit for sure.
Yeah, absolutely better than a street circuit. But another reason why this was such an anticipated track was because that this was, as we said before, this was the first track. This is the first of 6 or 7 races to have to feature a sprint race, which I'm expecting that in the long run, Stefano Domenicali is probably going to add even more sprint races in the F1 calendar. I think. I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
I don't think it really should, though, to be honest.
I think they're
Because
trying to
with
copy-
time, it starts to become a formality.
I think what I'm seeing with this is that I think they're trying to follow what MotoGP are doing, basically, because MotoGP, we
Yeah.
don't know, every single race has a sprint race, basically. So I think,
Yes.
and listen, since MotoGP are in that same FIA category, I wouldn't be surprised if every single race now turns out to be a sprint race, which for some circuits it's not going to go down well. I mean,
Definitely.
that's what I'm thinking about this. But anyhow, what we're going to do with this, Mac, instead we're going to start with qualifying. We're going to start with the sprint race, and basically, sprint qualifying was quite memorable, actually, because it was quite overcast, and then the rain actually took over the session. Which we haven't had many memorable qualifying sessions this year, right, bro? I mean, not so much.
Facts.
Now,
Facts.
in the first sprint qualifying, Perez set the pace with a 1:0 seconds on the medium tires, with Norris just a quarter behind him. So, and obviously, the light rain fell at the start of the session, but obviously the track remained dry for the 6th round of the track. But at the highlight of the session came right at the end, because there was the grass on the track side caught fire. It was caught fire.
Yep, I saw that. I saw that. Because
which
of the wind. The
yes,
sparks of the
absolutely.
cars and the wind dragged the spark
Yes.
onto the grass and it caught fire.
And that actually led to a slight delay in the second sprint qualifying session, bro. I mean, and
Yep.
obviously that doesn't that won't go away in just a flash. So they would need the time to clear it off, basically. So
Unless
um,
you want to bring Fireman Sam.
yeah. Anyways, you could. I mean, if he's still if he's still on contract, but we never know.
Is he still in the business?
I'm not sure about that. I haven't seen Fireman Sam since I was probably how much 5 6 years old, maybe I don't
I
know.
never seen him. I just know
Nah,
about
nah.
him.
But anyways, let's get back to the qualifying sessions. So falling at the first part of the sprint qualifying session, where unsurprisingly the two were pretty much the usual suspects, the two Alpines, the two Williams of Alex Albon and Logan Sargent, and a bit of a surprise since he's had a really fantastic start to the season, Yuki Tsunoda
Yuki
with just
Tsunoda.
19th, and
Yes, sir.
that was the start, unfortunately, of a really bad weekend at the office for Yuki. What do you think?
Facts.
No surprises, I think we're here, except Yuki, maybe.
Yeah, Yuki, a bit of a surprise. Bit of a surprise for Yuki, considering that he was doing pretty well as of late. Better than he was doing. Better. Pardon me. He was doing better than Rick.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
expected, but not really a shocker to be fair.
Yeah. Same here as well. As we said now, for the second sprint qualifying session, it was delayed due to the fire on the grass, and also with heavier rain basically arriving at the track basically. So that ended up with just a delay at the restart. Normal procedures happened after the restart. Bro, Verstappen staying up the fastest time, going just a tenth clear behind Charles Leclerc, just before obviously the rain took shape with that regard. And again, those who got knocked out, again, not too surprising. I mean, Lance Stroll getting 15th, Danny Rick with the Racing Bull. The two Hasses of Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. By the way, guys, we're going to do this very quickly because we obviously have qualifying to talk about, and then we'll get into more of these We'll get more into these drivers, our reactions very later on in the episode. Then, so the two Hasses of Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen, and again another misery for Mercedes with George Russell in 11th, and he only missed out by just a 0.00 seconds. Tiniest of margins, but again, bro, I mean, Mercedes is just, again, not delivering so far.
We were just saying before the episode on Lewis Hamilton announcing his departure from Mercedes too early. I think we can see why.
Yeah, same here, man.
We were just talking about it before the episode started.
Just not delivering, man. They're not delivering at the moment, unfortunately, with that. So then, going to the last part of sprint qualify of the third part of sprint qualifying. Now the track obviously wet enough for intermediates now, and with some more, and obviously the rain continued on for the third qualifying session, and that saw plenty of chaos from the start, bro, because a lot of drivers went off, be Lando Norris and Leclerc specifically. I mean, got a really wide spin, and heading into the barriers, and got some nose damage as well in the third part of qualifying. And as expected, the times were very slow. I mean, when you have a very wet track and with rain continuously falling down the track, you're gonna get slow lap times, as expected, basically. So Perez again in continuous in sprint qualifying. Bottas then got just a second of him to hold P2, just 2 minutes left of the clock, basically, and that. As a result, it caused plenty of drivers to have their track times deleted, their lap times deleted because of exceeding track limits. And now it obviously wasn't easy enough to drive in those treacherous conditions, but and then the fact also that they got their lap times deleted. What do you think?
Well, I don't know why, like how a lot of them were exceeding track limits. I mean, they should have experience on driving to a track like this. Is it because of conditions, maybe?
It took shape. The conditions are one of the biggest reasons.
Kudos to them. At least kudos to them to still do a qualifying session in the wet. Because we remember 3 seasons ago, was it at Spa-Francorchamps?
Yes, it was. Actually, the race never took place, I think.
The race never took place. Not even Quali.
No, exactly.
Not even Quali. So kudos to them for at least maybe the rain wasn't as heavy.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't know. I don't know.
So basically, then Verstappen also went off at the final corner, so that his lap time was
Weird.
also deleted. Very very strange from his experience and also from what he's been achieving for the past 2 years. And also Norris's time was also deleted. Who, despite taking P2, obviously, and he ran wide. His lap time was also deleted. Now Alonso, Norris then
159.2.
got an even better time of 157, but his lap time was deleted for exceeding track limits. But then, as soon as Hamilton finished another lap, his lap time got reinstated and ended up getting pole position, which for Lando is fantastic, obviously. But that also brings to the fact that it had to be the rain for us to get a pole position. I mean, that's pretty much what we can expect from this season. I mean, if Red Bull
To be honest, still
don't follow
impressive
this.
though.
Yeah, very impressive.
To
I
be
mean,
fair, still impressive.
I'm very happy that he got pole position actually
Still
because
impressed.
actually very very happy as well. So basically, Lando got pole with Hamilton just with a 1 seconds behind. Alonso third, Verstappen fourth, Sainz fifth, Perez sixth, Leclerc seventh. Piastri 8th, and the two Saubers with Bottas and Zhou Guanyu 9th and 10th for Zhou Guanyu. That was a fantastic.
Shout to Sauber, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout to Sauber.
that was a fantastic session for Sauber. What do you think about this? Surprised about the whole?
More surprised with Sauber though.
Yes, same here.
I was definitely surprised with Sauber. Not surprised with the fact that Norris got pole or Hamilton second, Verstappen came fourth. Not at all. But I was very impressed with Sauber. Both of the guys getting into Q3.
Yes, I mean, and unfortunately, that was like the
Very
only
impressed.
positive they can take from this weekend because the race,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Hey,
qualifying.
at least better than nothing. At least better than nothing. At least better than screwing up your wheel guns.
Yes, actually, and for Zhou Guanyu, if this was his first
Especially.
home race, it was a special moment for him.
To get in Q3 with the
Q3.
Sauber,
And listen,
I think you couldn't really ask
and
for
listen,
more.
it's expected for them to be in 9th and 10th. I mean, they can't. That can't.
No doubt. Obviously, bro.
Can't
Obviously.
can't compete with that. But yeah,
Unless I mean the only way they could get first and second in quali is that they both go out for their laps, they put their laps in, and the rest they don't even go out because of heavy
like what
rain,
happened
and
with
they call off the
Brazil,
session.
like what happened in Manchester with Brazil, basically.
Exactly.
I mean-
That's the only way.
Yes. But anyways, for Lando, very very happy. He got another sprint. I think it was his second, I believe, sprint pole position in his tally. So for him, it was fantastic. And even
What was his first? Was it at Qatar or was that Oscar Piastri?
I think that. Let me check.
Was it?
It's right now. It's not in my mind, to be honest.
Just a thought, just a brief thought.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, that's Lando pole, and even the fact that just to get pole ahead of the Red Bulls is satisfying to watch. So
It's always sweet.
Now we get to the sprint race. Now the sprint race for us was at 5 a.m. So we had to watch the sprint race afterwards because obviously I couldn't wake up at that area at that time. And disappointment with McLaren, for instance, it just happened straight at the start because Hamilton and Norris were just fighting neck to neck at the start. But obviously Lando, the pressure got he was a bit too ambitious and he went off and ended up in seventh after the first or second corner. Q in by Lando by Enrique Iglesias, basically. So yeah, it was very very unlucky for Lando. I mean, not just unlucky. I mean, it was pretty much history repeating itself from Russia, basically, when he was basically winning the race. The rain just hit massively, and he didn't end up pitting, and his race got compromised as a result, basically. So
To be honest, the situation in Russia was worse.
No, it was way worse, but this was definitely an error from Lando.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't be. I mean, if he managed to maybe went a bit behind Hamilton, he would have kept that second place definitely.
Yeah.
Albeit Verstappen had like made a better comeback with his race, but that for me was an error from Lando. Obviously, he will learn from his mistakes, but I really expected from him to.
Did the pressure get to him?
Yeah, absolutely, the pressure got to him. I mean,
I think the pressure got to him.
This for me is a running team on Lando Norris. It seems like that when the pressure gets to him. I don't know. He crumbles a bit, man, and I think I expected him.
He gets a bit excited. He gets a bit too excited.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened with Hamilton. He wanted to be very very ambitious with surpassing Hamilton, and he fucked up as a result, and that pretty much for him it was race over as soon as that happened for him. Um, and basically, after that, it was pretty much same procedure. Verstappen got obviously the better from Lando, and within just a couple of laps, he just breezed past his opponents, and he was in the lead basically. I mean, bro, no
Yeah.
surprise here. We know that Red Bull how it is. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh dear God. Just the same old, yeah.
Yeah, man, same old, unfortunately.
I'm running out of adjectives to say about that Red Bull, to be honest, bro. I'm gonna be real with you.
No, yeah, same here,
I'm
man.
running out of adjectives.
It feels like we're repeating the same things here, guys. Because unfortunately, I mean, we all know where this is gonna end up. I mean, Verstappen just again, as soon as he passed his opponents, it was just race over from that regard. But the action. Most of the action happened, but despite that, it was a great sprint race to watch. I mean, most of the action happened behind Verstappen, basically, because there was just a lot going on between Alonso, and the two Ferraris, and Sergio Perez. A lot of battling going on between those two drivers, a lot of overtaking. Just one of the rare instances where there was proper racing going on. Yeah, Sainz and Leclerc had a bit of a touching.
Seen that though, and Leclerc said something on the radio that him and Sainz are fighting each other more. Is there a bit of an animosity brewing between the two?
It might be a one-off as well. I mean, we never had.
Could be.
So far, we haven't had like a clash of heads between Leclerc and Sainz. So that probably was just a one-off. I think. I mean,
probably
as well. Basically, the two Ferraris touched wheels together. Obviously, Leclerc was far from happy after that. Basically, taking fourth ahead of Sainz. And Alonso, actually, we all said Alonso was having that duel between those cars. He actually had to pit because one of his tires, he had a puncture in one of his tires because he obviously clashed with Sainz, and he had to, and as a result, he ended up retiring from the race because of the significant damage he had, and pretty much that was how the race unfolded, basically. Not much action going on, unfortunately, within the sprint race. And obviously, Verstappen ended up winning the race. Not surprised about this, bro, eh?
not at all. I'm already tired of the season. I'm already fed up with the season and I want it to end. But at least, what surprised me is with Hamilton.
Oh, sorry about that, guys, because my mic just fucked up a bit. What
really surprised me what with Hamilton was.
Yeah.
With what Hamilton did.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get the results here very quickly, guys, for the sprint race, because I absolutely forgot a bit who came who. So yeah, Verstappen, as you can probably tell, untroubled again. He ended up winning the race, basically from fourth till first. Again, just no words for him at this point. Hamilton actually got second. He actually held on to remain in second. So a fantastic sprint race. I mean, despite because of his form right now. So fantastic race for him.
Definitely.
Checo in third, followed by the two Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz in fourth and fifth. Obviously, Lando, very disappointing for him to start from pole. End up getting a sixth, followed by his teammate in seventh. Again, if he didn't make that mistake, he would have easily got
at least to top three.
The top three, yeah, absolutely in the top three.
Top three easily.
Oscar Piastri in seventh, and George Russell getting that final point for the sprint race point in eighth, followed by Zhou Guanyu in ninth and Kevin Magnussen in 10th, with Alonso retiring at the end for the entire sprint race. So yeah, again, so that is the sprint race, guys. Verstappen at the end of the day, no surprise again. And that pretty much started again another dominant weekend with monstrous.
We could already see what was about to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, I think not just us guys. I think everybody knew where this was going to be heading, and it pretty much gets in that point for qualifying, basically. So again, guys, we're going to get to these very very quickly. So first round of qualifying, we actually had a pretty big surprise, guys, because obviously the same usual suspects got knocked out from qualifying. So we're gonna get into them very quickly. Logan Sargent, again, not helping.
Pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
Williams are kind of in the mud at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, man.
Williams are kind of in the mud, bro.
Not the sophomore season that James Vowles wanted it, eh? I mean,
nah, not at all.
Not at all. Again,
They already lost a ton of respect. I haven't forgotten James vows about handing um
the chassis, yeah,
yeah what happened back in Australia
yeah, absolutely.
with Albon crashing, and he handed Logan Sargent's car with Logan Sargent going not even participating in the race. We haven't forgotten about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, and even Albin's not performing as well. Yes,
Yeah.
he went through Q2, but he's not improving things either as well. So yeah, Logan Sargent, 20th. He is still in that rookie phase at the moment, bro. And it just looks like he's not gonna be improving anywhere else in the next coming up races as well.
There are drivers knocking on that Williams
Yeah,
seat, on
yeah,
that Williams
again,
seat, on the Williams doors.
yeah. Again, Yuki Tsunoda 19th, another really
Like,
poor qualifying session for him.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
just not at the races this weekend.
Really
Yuki.
poor weekend overall for Yuki.
I mean, for Racing Bulls in general, because both would actually ended up retiring from the race. So Yuki Tsunoda again, 18th, not great. I actually feel for him a bit. I really don't want
Actually,
him to be back in that phase.
19th for Tsunoda, 18th is for the real shocker.
Yeah, 18th. You said, bro. Hamilton. From literally going, I mean, from literally on a high from sprint race to just shoop slow from the lowest of those in 18th. I mean,
What happened exactly? What happened? Why was he caught in traffic or something?
no, actually, he locked up. He locked up in one of the final corners, and it was his mistake. It was actually his mistake, and he actually even complained about the strategy of the car as well. And I mean, not the first time
setup.
he was about to complain, because in the race
setup.
he had a lot of complaining to do in the race. But yeah, 18th, shocker, man, absolute shocker for him. I mean, when was the last time he got knocked out from Q1 habits? I think it was a long time ago. That absolutely long.
Last time I remember was two seasons 2022 in Jeddah.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Last time I remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeddah 2 years ago.
Yeah, shocker. No, it's an absolute shocker for Hamilton to be qualifying in that position. Magnussen 17th. Yeah, considering getting into Q2 consistently, a bit poor from Magnussen. And Zhou Guanyu ending up in finishing the Q1 knockouts in 16th. Again, no surprise, bro. That's Sauber, as expected.
A bit unfortunate as he got into Q3 in the sprint quali, but a bit unfortunate
unlike his
though.
teammate, he had a far better qualifying session than Zhou, unfortunately. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
absolutely.
Throughout the season so far.
Yeah,
Throughout
absolutely.
the season so far, not just this race.
Good news for Alpine though, because they actually made it to Q2. So a bit of a silver line for them, but they obviously still getting knocked out as expected in those positions, with Gasly in 15th, followed by Albon in 14th and Ocon in 13th. But at least Alpine, considering their first few qualifying sessions, at least to get into Q2, a bit of a step up, a bit of a step in the right direction for them, bro.
Yeah, definitely, and it's much needed for Alpine.
Yes. Obviously,
much needed.
They still have a long way to go.
They're taking baby steps. They're taking baby steps, which they should.
Yeah.
Time is with them. I believe. So
absolutely.
As long as their baby steps are in the right direction, absolutely take this.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Ricardo in 12th. Again, no surprises.
Decent.
Expected.
Decent though.
But expected.
Decent
to be
though.
in those positions.
Much better so far. Much better from his previous sessions.
But the race was a different story, yeah?
Unfortunately for him. And it wasn't even his fault, but we'll get to that.
And yeah, we'll get to that as well, guys. And a bit of a surprise as well. Lance Stroll getting 11th. Being Lance Stroll, obviously. I mean,
is it though? Is it though?
Not a surprise, but
is it though? I mean, Lance Stroll.
We're talking about a goat. I mean, Aston Martin have one of the greatest of all time, and a goat, literally. The proportion of that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all know. I mean, we'll get to Lance Stroll. What the absolute fuck up that he did in the race. But yeah, 11th, not great for him again to be in 11th. Bottas, a great qualifying for him in 10th with that Sauber. Shout out to him. Expect to be in 10th. Much improvement needed for him as well. Hülkenberg 9th again. Hülkenberg right now is doing an Albon, bro. I mean, he's carrying the team.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Magnus
he's
is getting
carrying
the
the
point as
team
well,
at the
but
moment.
he's carrying the team at the moment, Hulkenberg. And
Yeah, definitely. I still do believe that Hulkenberg and Magnussen together are a fairly balanced team.
they're very balanced, I
But
would say.
this season, Hulkenberg has been outperforming Magnussen more consistent on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But yeah, again, and for Haas as well to be in that top 10 with one car being in that top 10,
In Q
it's
in
great.
Q3,
Not spectacular, obviously, but
yes,
so far Haas impressed with them so far with the progress they're making. To be just way
yeah,
behind, way ahead, to be ahead of their rivals. Yeah,
yes,
quite go about their business exactly.
quietly going about their business.
Russell 8 again. I'm being a bit frustrated with this because again, it's with that Mercedes with how their season is going right now. It's expected. I mean, it's expected to be in those positions, but again, not great, man. Not great. That eighth
Not at
place is
all.
not great at all for them.
Not at all. Listen. Mercedes this year is 2020 Ferrari.
Or worse,
Ferrari 2020.
or worse, bro.
I think slightly better. I think slightly better.
I think they compete. I think they compete. Honestly, I think they can compete with each other.
I believe slightly better than
Yeah.
2020 Ferrari. That's what I believe.
And speaking of Ferrari, not great, bro. 7th and 6th with Sainz and
Yeah.
Leclerc. And unfortunately, this
bit
continued on for
rough.
the entire weekend.
Yeah, a bit rough. I don't know. I cannot tell you what went wrong, bro. Honestly, I can't tell you because I don't know.
Yeah.
There were internal discussions that affected the team after what happened in the sprint. I don't know.
Might be one of the factors.
I have no idea, bro. Honestly,
The two McLarens, Piastri
shit happens. Shit happens.
Unfortunately, the two McLarens as well, getting the better of the Ferraris with fifth and fourth. Alonso, fantastic qualifying session for him in third. I mean, we've explained earlier. I think we spoke about Alonso earlier. I think that contract extension is justified because he's performing miracles.
I
once
believe.
again
I
with
believe
that.
it's because he trusts the team. He trusts the team.
Yes, he absolutely.
If he
trusts it.
listen, someone like Alonso is like Hamilton.
Yeah.
If he sees there's experience there, they both have
Yeah.
experience. If they see something that they don't like or the team is going in a direction that they don't deem is good enough, they're jumping ship.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if Hamilton sees that Mercedes are taking the right steps to go in the right direction, he's going to stay with Mercedes and not move to Ferrari. So Alonso, on the other hand, sees that Aston Martin are going in the right direction, therefore stays put with the team.
Yes,
Because
definitely.
if not, he's jumping ship.
And the results are paying off massively. The results are definitely paying off. With
So
that.
far, so
Yes.
good. So
Listen,
far,
to
yes.
get ahead- I mean,
Better
listen,
than
to
Mercedes
get
for
ahead-
sure.
I mean, to get ahead of the two Ferraris, the two McLarens, and the two Mercedes is an achievement. I mean, he's
Definitely.
making wonders. And yeah, obviously, as expected, the two Red
You know the
Bulls
drill.
occupying the front row of the grid. Verstappen pole, Checo second. You know the drill, guys. I mean, it's the routine of it's basically the routine of last season. It's continuing on this season. I mean, Verstappen again, mega lap for him, and Perez following up with just 3:22 seconds, 0.322 seconds behind. Bro, no surprises again. Expected with that Red Bull. I mean, winning the sprint race and then doing
A bit of
qualifying in the
in terms of Red Bull, yeah,
Sorry?
most certainly. In terms of Red Bull getting a 1-2, it's not surprising, but throughout
Yeah.
quali we had some surprises with Hamilton, with Bottas. Was it Bottas? Let me check.
Bottas got
Bottas in P10.
yeah,
Bottas in
Bottas
P10.
Yeah, exactly. And
We got some surprises.
that gets us to the race, bro. Which again, unfortunately, there really isn't much to say about the race, bro. Because you look at
Maybe a
again,
few bits and events here and
were
there
a few,
with
there were a few parts where the race was interesting, but overall, it was another procession.
If
man.
you
It was
want to
another
see
procession.
if you want to see a battle for first,
You
What?
might as well watch MotoGP, man.
might as well
might
go
as
watch
well
the
watch
championship
MotoGP
because it's more
because
interesting.
that-
Not even the Premier League.
Sorry, bro.
Said they should go and watch the championship if they like football.
Or MotoGP. You can even watch MotoGP as
Or
well.
MotoGP.
Because
Or
MotoGP.
MotoGP. Oh hell, F2. Go watch F2.
Because the race is much closer, guys. Because you
Go watch F2.
Unfortunately, with this season, I mean, it's been going on for 3 seasons now. I mean, it's been going on for 3 seasons now. You ain't
When the
getting
new
closer
regulations
to
came in.
this.
When the new regulations came in.
A couple of years ago. So, unfortunately,
Back in 22.
Yeah, definitely.
2 years. Sorry, 2 years. Sorry.
It's just
Because in 22,
yeah.
Ferrari was giving them a run for their money till they collapsed. Last season, we know what happened. This season, okay, Ferrari got a 1-2 in Australia, but it's looking pretty dim again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, we look at the start. I mean, the race. I shit you not, guys. The race was over after the first corner because it was literally another clean start. Not the shenanigans we've had. Not the shenanigans
And
we've
that's
had in
why.
Japan, because in Japan we've had a really chaotic start in Japan, and
Uh,
it was just race over from the get go. It was race
you know
over.
what? You know what the thing is? Yeah, that's the bullshit that I got to witness.
Yeah,
I could not. I couldn't make it to the. I couldn't see the sprint, but yet I had to watch that.
yeah. You've missed the best. You've missed the best part of the whole weekend, bro. Unfortunately, I mean,
Jesus Christ!
you can't expect. Unfortunately, guys, you can't expect massive. You can't expect great things right now
Nah,
with how Formula One is moving along right now. Because if you want to watch close racing, this sport ain't for you at the moment.
nah.
It ain't for you at the moment, bro.
I mean,
Again, we
in
look at the
terms
race.
of
Verstappen.
winning races, no.
Yeah,
In terms of
I
winning
mean,
races, no. But because I do believe there's still some close racing in and about. But
yeah.
for battle for first, nah,
No, no
nah.
chance. Because by lap
Go watch
six,
MotoGP, like he said.
6 or 7, Verstappen was already more than 5 to 6 seconds ahead. I mean, that is nuts. And
That is a joke.
Red Bull were so dominant that they had that they did a double stacking pit stop, and they still were at the top of the pack, man. I mean, that's how confident they are at the moment. That's why they are the best in the business. They are the best of the business at the moment. They're just a league on their own at their moment, and
They pitted in both Verstappen and Perez. Was
yeah,
it lap 14 for hards? A double pit stop. Then 10 laps later, they pitted them again. Another double stacking for another set of hards.
and they still were confident, and they
That's
still were
bullshit.
confident.
Even though I do believe they compromised Perez on that second pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, not even a fucking the fucking safety car affected them one bit
Nah. Nope.
because obviously what happened was Bottas unfortunately ended up having an engine failure, and it's a shame for Bottas because actually Bottas was actually having a really decent weekend, starting from 10th, potentially having scoring. And as a result, he and unfortunately he ended up getting he suffered an engine failure, and that caused firstly it caused a virtual safety car, and
Yeah, it was very unfortunate for Bottas, man.
yes,
Very unfortunate
very
for him.
unfortunate, and ended up and as a result, the stewards didn't got the car out in time, and the safety car had to got out as a result. Now, what happened? Multiple cars and had to make several pit stops, and Alonso's unfortunately, his strategy, he ended up how do I put this basically. Alonso's strategy, unfortunately, got compromised as a result because he ended up getting the soft tires where the rest of the field were packing in the opposite tires,
Yeah.
and his race got compromised as a result because when the restart actually took place, he actually was dropping down the grid several times. Now, speaking of Aston Martin, Lance Stroll went full on Lance Stroll basically because he ended up getting straight, but he ended up crashing straight into Danny Rick.
Into Danny Rick's back.
Danny
Pause.
Rick's back.
No did he?
Yeah.
No did he? No did he?
Yeah. That I mean that actually I have to put a timestamp on that, bro.
No did he?
But I mean, Lance Stroll. I mean, we said in the first episode that we can't. I can't believe that this guy still has an F1 seat, man. I mean, he only has
Because
an
of
F1
his daddy.
seat. It's because of his daddy. That's the only reason why he still has a seat in Formula One. Because as a driver, he's just not good enough, man. What do you think?
Nah. Listen, he's not the worst
No.
the F1 scene has seen, but for him to have his you have Fernando Alonso, a two-time world champion, 42 years old, still doing business, just signed a contract extension, and your teammate is actually Lance Stroll.
No.
There's no balance there.
No.
There's no
Absolutely
balance
no balance.
whatsoever.
You're absolutely no balance. And Stroll actually had to retire from the race as a result. And not only Ricciardo retired as well, but also Yuki Tsunoda also retired from the race. So that's a double
I
DNF.
I think it was very unfortunate for Yuki. Magnussen had plenty of room to give Yuki
Yeah,
space.
definitely,
So
100%.
I don't know what was the reason why he just went into him to try to close him off. And Magnussen was even behind Tsunoda. It didn't make sense.
And Yuki was far from happy, and understandably so far from happy
Understandably
because.
so. Understandably.
But
I
yeah,
would be fuming.
for Racing Bulls, a double DNF, not great. And again, for Ricardo, that's another setback for him. I mean, Liam Lawson, bro,
Unfortunately.
Liam Lawson, he has to be smiling at the moment
Yes,
because
yes, yes. But today I don't. But yesterday I don't even blame it on Danny Rickman.
no, it's not his fault,
I don't even
unfortunately.
blame it on him. That would be very harsh. That would be
It
very
would be,
harsh.
yes, absolutely, it would be very harsh
Can
for
he do
him.
better? Much better. But yesterday
Yeah,
it was very unfortunate.
absolutely.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, bro, that's when the action stopped because as soon as that crash happened, it was a procession, bro. Absolutely a procession, literally.
But there was one moment in the race, in
Yeah.
the final few laps, where Alonso made a heroic save.
Yeah. He saved himself big time.
He dipped that right rear tire
Yes.
on the last corner on the start finish straight, and he just switched it like mega quick. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely. And despite all that, he still ended up finishing in the points with that regard. So, as we said, guys, unfortunately, not much happening with the race. It was a very standard procedure race, as you
No.
expected with the season. Verstappen dominate another monstrous performance by Max, dominating not just this race but the entire weekend, and he ended up winning in
Yeah.
Shanghai. It was now 1-2 though for Red Bull because Lando Norris actually got second. He got a second place finish, up another podium in his tally. Again,
At least he compensated for his
yeah, he
sprint
saved
mistakes.
himself. Yeah, a good recovery from
He,
a really
he compensated
really poor
himself.
sprint race for him. A
Compensated.
disappointing sprint race, but in a poor race because he still got points and the sprint race. He recovered brilliantly and ended up finishing second. I mean, his strategies, the strategy he got it spot on with the team. Can't say the same with Piastri, unfortunately, because he got significant damage with his car. His race was a bit compromised as a result.
Yeah.
But seconds behind Max, so not anything to do there, unfortunately. What do you think, bro?
What do you want me to think?
No,
What do you
nothing.
want me to think, Jan?
Nothing.
What do you want me to think?
Nothing.
What can I say?
13
What do you want me
seconds.
to think, bro?
13
fucking
seconds. It's nuts. 13 seconds is absolutely nuts.
I don't know what to say, honestly. Again, I've run out of adjectives, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I've run out
Same
of
here.
adjectives.
Same here. Anyhow, Checo in third. Should have got second. Should have got second. I think that would have capped off another strong. Strong weekend for Red Bull. But third place is another solid result for Checo.
Again, Red Bull compromised Perez with the second pit stop.
Yes, they
Stacking.
did. Yes,
Double
they
stacking.
did.
They compromised him. I don't know why they brought him in. They brought both of them in. I mean, you could say, okay, maybe to flex their guns a bit, like, haha, we can do it
Yeah.
twice and we'll still beat you.
Yeah.
That's what they probably thought
Definitely.
of. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it did.
But they compromised Perez.
Absolutely. The two Ferraris in fourth and fifth. Again, bro, not great. Hey,
Not great, but not the worst neither.
yeah, not the worst.
And even hell, they had a poor start. Both of them had a very poor start in the race.
Absolutely.
Both of them were overtaken by Hulkenberg, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the start?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, both of them were both overtaken, so they had to work their way up. Okay, yeah, they handled the Hulkenberg within 1 or 2 laps, but still, it was a really poor start from them. But it is what it is.
They still got points though. I mean, it's a top 5.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a top 5 finish for both Ferraris.
If we can finish second this year in the constructors, I'll be more than happy.
I mean, so far it's looking likely that it's going to be
That should be the target.
So, yeah.
That should be the target. That should be the target. Not even
In my
first. I'm
honest
not even
opinion,
looking at first.
In my honest opinion, they should be battling for first, but their Red Bull is on absolute rockets at the moment, so it can't compete with Red Bull.
Nobody can compete though. Nobody can compete. Everybody else can start competing from 2026 onwards.
Yeah.
These new regulations.
They ain't doing one bit. Absolutely. Yeah. Russell in sixth and finishing behind the two McLaren, not the two McLaren, sorry, behind two Ferraris and the two Red Bulls and the McLaren.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, expected, but at the same time, sixth place isn't isn't anything too bad for it's not the worst result for George Russell.
It's not the best, not the worst. He did worse.
Yes.
The worst things happened this season, so P6 is not the end of the world
Now,
for sure for Mercedes.
Alonso, despite all that chaos going on with how his race went, he ended up getting 7th, but at the same time, what looked like he was going to get a top 5 finish or maybe a podium place for Alonso, to finish 7th, it's a bit of a setback for him. I mean, a bit of a setback, but at the same time, a points finish is
Yeah.
a decent result for Alonso. What do you think? Yeah,
The end.
Absolutely.
Especially that save he did right at the end. Because he had a pretty eventful race.
Yeah,
Pretty eventful
definitely.
race, Alonso.
Piastri
And Aston Martin did compromise him a bit.
Yeah.
Not ideal after signing a contract extension.
Yeah, he won't be the happiest man on the planet, Alonso, with that. But
Yeah.
another points finish for Alonso with
Yeah.
that with 7 points.
Yeah.
Oscar Piastri in 8th. Now his race got a bit compromised because of the damage he received from Ricardo, but the good news is that he finished the race. That's the best thing we can say about Russell. Now Hamilton finished in 9th. Now this has two sides of the story. The good news is the good side is that he made a great recovery from 18th on the grid to finishing 9th.
To 9th.
But the bad
4
news
points finish.
is 9th place isn't good enough for Mercedes. Now, let's be honest here now. I mean,
Reality,
that's the new reality, for them.
this season.
Yes, exactly. And
that's the new reality for them.
And he was complaining massively throughout the race. He was complaining, bro.
I can't even remember what he was saying. I can't even remember exactly what he was saying, but it was a lot.
I mean, at this point, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Just race. Just keep on
just
going
race.
to the end.
You know you're out of there at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know. Why are you even complaining?
Yeah, exactly. Why on earth?
You know you're out of there.
Yeah, why? I don't know why he's complaining. Honestly, I mean, with how his season is going,
I can't wait for next season. I can't wait for next season when he's in that Ferrari. He's complaining, and they tell him we are checking. I can't wait for it.
That is gonna be box office guaranteed for Hamilton.
I can't wait. Yeah. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Absolutely, but anyhow,
you think that Mercedes is bad? Watch this space. If they give him a 20 Ferrari from 2020, holy mother of God!
There's gonna be so much box office with that. I mean, if that happens, but let's continue on with the standings. And Hülkenberg getting the final point for Haas in 10th. Another point.
Another point for Haas.
So far, so good, bro. So far, so
yeah,
good.
Definitely. Listen, they're quietly going about their business, Haas, man.
Definitely.
They're quietly going about their business.
And finishing outside the points, the usual suspects, bro. The two Alpines, Ocon in 11th, Albin in the Williams in 12th. Gasly in 13th, Zhou Guanyu, bittersweet to finish in 14th, but the fact that he got his own podium place to him, and he ended up in tears as a result.
Listen. Again, they probably did it because a Grand Prix in China, their first ever homegrown talent to compete.
Yes.
The first Chinese driver to ever compete a Chinese Grand Prix. Yeah. So
shout out.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. It would mean it means so much to him because right now he's on the brink of losing his seat next season, and to get that moment, it's a very special moment for him, and that's why he's on our front cover of this episode.
No doubt,
guys,
no doubt,
because he deserves to be in that. I think because of his home race.
Yeah,
obviously,
no
Lance Stroll and
no
Magnussen ending up at the back of the grid, and Sargent finishing the grid with 17th. Now, get to the rankings very quickly, Mark. Driver of the day. My pick is probably going to be Verstappen, I think. I mean, do you agree with this or not so much?
Listen. I mean, it's easy to give it to Verstappen, but I'm gonna give it to Alonso.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to him. With all the bullshit that he encountered this race this weekend, with the mega save he made, the bullshit instructions, the bullshit strategies the team gave him, and somehow managed to still finish in the points. I'm not gonna mention he finished before in front of his teammate because it doesn't take much to finish in front of Stroll.
No.
But the fact that I believe Alonso. No. I'll give it to Alonso.
Actually, Okay, fair enough. Actually, Alonso is on the losers category for how most people put him there. But anyways, it's our choices, guys. It's not. We're not going to be affected by other people's choices. It's going to be our choices at the end of the day. Um,
I did see though. I did see though. But listen, Aston Martin can be a loser.
they can be,
Alonso
yes.
tried his
Yeah,
best.
absolutely. Now, for my pick, now actually, I'm going to reverse my decision for driver of the day because yes, Verstappen was once again unstoppable with his race, with how his strategy went, and so forth, and even with Red Bull. But I am going to go with Lando Norris for driver of the day because the fact that he got second, the fact that he made a good comeback, that he recovered nicely from his really disappointing sprint race to get a second place it's an excellent race, an excellent weekend for Lando Norris. Obviously, wanted Piastri to get into those positions, but Lando right now continuing his strong run of form. He just needs to win a race, though. He just has to win a race because
Is he getting too excited, bro?
I think
Once
the
he's in
pressure
those
is getting
positions,
to him.
this is the second time that happened to him.
Yeah.
Does the pressure get to him?
He needs to see out a race. He can't. The pressure just can't get to him anymore now because he's been in the team now for quite some time now, and he
But
needs.
what was it, like 5, 6 years?
Yeah,
How
6 years.
long?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years.
He needs to get those nerves out of the way now because he can't keep. Because if he keeps on, because if the pressure just keeps on getting to him, he will never win a race. He will never end up winning a race as a result. But here's my pick because to get to
And
second
probably,
place.
listen, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
No. Go on.
No, no. Say.
Oh no, but
All right.
actually,
Probably, if McLaren really want to go to that next level, who knows? They might end up ditching Norris.
it would be a really bad decision for right now.
I don't know.
Specifically, it would be a bad decision.
I don't
but
know. Norris is tied down till 2020.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe.
I think even longer than 2026 at the moment, but he is tied to a contract.
He's tied to a contract. He's still young though. He's still young. But if
worried a
McLaren
bit.
really want to press on and try to win,
I'm just a bit.
I don't know.
I'm a bit worried that Helmut Marko could talk to him and get him to give a Red Bull seat. But anyhow, that's another rumor. We can't really just believe in it. But no, Lando is going to be my pick because to get second, to be the best out of everyone else. I mean, listen, he can't really edge past Verstappen at the moment because of his pace.
No,
But
nobody can.
no,
Nobody
nobody
can.
can at the moment. But just to get second is a fantastic result for him, and he will be my pick. Other picks, Hulkenberg has to be in that category to get 1 point for that Haas. And those are pretty much our picks our pick for driver of the day. Yours is going to be Alonso, Mac, and mine is going to be Lando Norris. For losers, I think we're both on the same page. It's Lance Stroll. I mean,
Funnily enough, my driver of the day is one Aston Martin driver. Loser of the day is another Aston Martin driver.
Actually-
Funnily enough.
yeah. And actually, he's not just our losers of the day. He's also our dick of the day and also our clown of the day as well. Do you agree with that? Because I think there were so many uneventful moments going on in the race, and he has to be in those three of our picks. Because
Yeah.
you can't just
Like
just
how can you how can you not brake, bro? You're approaching a corner,
Yeah.
you're behind the safety car, you just straight up go at the back of Danny Rick like that. No Diddy.
No.
You go straight up at the back like that of Danny Rick.
Yeah, it's just
Don't even brake, bro.
he can't go torpedo on those visas on Visa's ass and just pretend that everything is okay.
No Diddy.
No, did he? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could pick Racing Bulls for losers of the day, but it wasn't really their fault, to be honest. They were quite unlucky.
It's not really what happened. What happened wasn't their fault. Both with Danny Rick's incident and both with
Yeah.
Yuki's incident.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't really pick them. Sauber expected to be in that category because the car is so bad at the moment. So, but
Yeah.
Lance Stroll is gonna be our pick, guys. I mean, he deserves
Easily.
that pick.
Easily.
He easily deserves that pick. I mean, he can't just keep on. He can't just keep on making these type of performances when it comes to him as well.
No doubt.
Yeah. Those are our picks for our categories, guys. So we look at the standings very, very quickly. Verstappen stays on top with 110 points, followed by his teammate Checo Perez with 85. The two Ferraris follow up with third and fourth, Leclerc on 76 points and Carlos Sainz with the funny number of 69 points when in fourth. The two McLarens follow up with fifth and sixth with Norris and Piastri. Russell in seventh, Alonso eighth with 32 and 31 points. Hamilton stays in ninth, and Lance Stroll in 10th. If we look at our constructors, Red Bulls stay at the top of the pack with 195 points, followed by Ferrari with 151 points. McLaren a bit behind with 96 points. Mercedes with 52, Aston Martin 40. Racing Bulls with 7 points in sixth, and Haas ending up with 7 points. Sorry, and in seventh place with 5 points. Williams, Alpine, and Sauber are still without a single point, but Alpine now have gone up a place over Sauber, which is the only difference with those results. All right, guys, that's it. That is the end of this episode. Hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, guys. Make sure to give us a like. Make sure to give us, as per usual, guys, like, follow, share on our Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify pages, and also on YouTube as well, guys. We really appreciate your feedback on each episode. And as always, our next episode will be the Miami Grand Prix. Is that this week or the week after?
I believe the week after. I believe it's not this weekend. The week after. Let me check 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm checking as well. It is the week after. The week after. And
the week after. It's because it's between May.
It's a late one. It's at 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's at 10 p.m.
So it's going to be a late night, complete opposite from these past couple of races, guys. An early wake-up call
no
for the
doubt.
couple of races.
And I believe, yeah, this is the last race before we start the European portion of the season.
Yeah. Which the times are going to be much more comfortable.
Much better, at least for us Europeans.
Yes, absolutely.
At least much better for us.
Absolutely, guys, absolutely.
No doubt.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next episode. Till then, have a great week and have a great week ahead.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Peace.
Thank you.